Oh shit! Welcome to the Swine Brothers Show, episode 70. Yeah, it helped my microphone was turned on for March the 7th, I think, 2016. Uh, the show's email is still ellindemood@gmail.com. We're going to get a new Twitter. I'm going to rename the Twitter. I'm putting that up because I don't care. Twitter still is PTR PT Radio 666, and I think Facebook is still named what it's still named, which is the old show. We'll get that straightened out. My name is Elliot Lindemann. I'm here with.
I am the Jim. I do shit.
Yeah. um,
It also helps if I'm not muted as well.
yeah, that it's a comedy of errors. That's why I was a bit worried because I couldn't hear myself during your thing, and I was like,
Did I die? Wouldn't be the first time.
no. Well, yeah, and I muted myself before we started, so comedy of errors, people.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
So,
Swine.
former hatebreed drummer Nick Papantunio is convicted of felony murder.
That's always fun.
Yeah. Nicholas, who plays drums with Hatebreed, who played drum with Hatebreed between 96 and 97, has been found guilty of felony murder and faces up to 90 years in jail. The New Haven Register reports the drummer was also found guilty of criminal possession of a firearm and first-degree burglary. I guess he couldn't find work in music.
Yeah, I looked his name up. I couldn't find it on Metal Archives or anything. So I guess after Hatebreed, he just kind of left.
Yeah. After invading the home of 56-year-old Larry Dildy in October 2014, who is the man he has been found guilty of murdering. The drummer claimed he was an unwilling participant. In his testimony, he said he was unwilling to participate in William Cowdermash's plan to drive to Dildo's house on Circular Avenue and steal money or pills from him. When anyone decided it was money or pills they wanted.
It don't matter. It don't fucking matter.
The two men drove there on October 19th, 2014, a Sunday morning, because they thought Dildy would be in church.
Yes, all the sheep are in church. We robbed them.
Mm-hmm. The drummer told the jury that Cowdermash had said he wanted to collect some money from somebody, and that when they reached Dildy's house, Cowdermash told the defendant to follow him inside. The drummer quoted him saying, "Watch my back." The drummer said when they reached the top of the stairs to Dildy's second-floor apartment, Cowdermash quickly gave him a gun, like handing off a football. The defendant said Cowdermash then banged on the door. Dildy let him in, and they began arguing about a $400 debt Dildy supposedly owed Cowdermash. Okay. Oh, fuck. And you were expecting to feel not guilty. According to the drummer, he told the two men to chill, but that Cowdermash had already stabbed Dildy repeatedly. Dildy, who weighed about...
I can't chill, damn it, I'm stabbing this guy.
Dildy, who weighed about 300 pounds, had become enraged. He was just stabbed. I think I'd be pissed if I was stabbed.
Yeah, I think I would be too.
Then charged at the drummer as Cowdermash fled. According to the defendant's account, the drummer said the gun went off twice accidentally as he and Dildy struggled over the weapon.
That's awesome. I always love that. It went off accidentally. I just pressed the trigger.
According to testimony from family members of Dildy, they only heard one person inside the house and not two like the drummer claimed. The drummer's accomplice, Cowdermash, entered a plea deal with the district attorney for his cooperation, where felony murder charges were dropped and instead pleaded guilty to accessory to first-degree manslaughter and accessory to first-degree burglary. He's still going away for a while.
Yep. You don't get a short-term prison for that.
The drummer played under the alias Nickel P with Hatebreed right before their debut album, Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. He never recorded with the band.
Just interesting story. By the way, thank you to Metal Injection for that. I have a side story that I heard on Sunday. So a man was apparently taking a selfie with his wife or girlfriend or female partner, whatever, with guns. And he took a selfie and pressed the trigger. Didn't realize there was one bullet left.
Was this in Saget County, Washington, where a 43-year-old accidentally killed himself by shooting a bullet in his own face while taking selfies with a gun and his girlfriend? The unidentified victim and his girlfriend, according to the Saget Valley Herald, were at home on Sunday when the shooting occurred. County Sheriff Patrol Officer Chad Clark said bullets were loaded and unloaded several times during the photo shoot, which took place off and on through the day.
There is a God.
You selfie whores. Good. Authorities divulged no further information at the time of the report, but this case adds to the countless number of accidental shootings that have taken in the past year, not to mention the tragic selfie deaths, which include that of 2 more last month alone.
Selfie deaths. There is a God.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jeebus. Oh, man. That's so awesome.
So, do you want the good news or the bad news first?
Let's do good first.
Court strikes down university ban on communicating in a manner likely to cause emotional or physical discomfort.
They've lifted their ban on me from the premises.
Yeah, they've lifted their ban of me. Thank you, court.
Yes, I can go harass people again.
In Doe versus rector and visitors of George Mason University, the court decided last Thursday, a federal district court struck down a George Mason University speech code. The code provided, in relevant part, acts of misconduct include all hostile, threatening, or intimidating behavior that is by its very nature would be interpreted by a reasonable person to threaten or endanger the health, safety, or well-being of another. Elliot, I will strangle your own intestines. There, I broke the speech code.
Jim, I will reach up and pull your heart out of your asshole.
That sounds like fun.
That was, I believe, how Socrates was given a choice of suicide. It was one of the I think it was Socrates. I don't remember. Was given a choice.
I'll just drink the fucking hemlock.
Yeah. That's fine. I'll just drink, or have a Roman soldier reach up his ass and pull out his heart.
Examples of such behavior may include communicating, either directly or indirectly, by electronic or written communication in a manner likely to cause distress or emotional or physical discomfort.
In the chat we have on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. The court held that the second sentence was unconstitutionally overboard and thus invalid without regard to particular speech and said by a particular student in this case, unless it is read as limited to constitutionally unprotected true threats and fighting words. The first half of the
Them fighting words right there.
Mm-hmm. I just defecated on your front lawn, which you don't have.
Yeah, I was gonna say you sodded a lawn. Fucking
Just so I could shit on it.
wow. Well, that's kind of pisses me off because now we don't have a driveway. Thanks.
Exactly, I knew it would. The first half provision cited above clearly evidences an intent to ban true threats, which constitute a well-settled exception to the freedom of speech protected by the First and 14th Amendments. Indeed, the first half of the provision in issue is tailored to be entirely consistent with the Fourth Circuit's law on truth threats code, blah, blah, blah. Prohibits behavior an ordinary, reasonable recipient who is familiar with the context would interpret as threat or of injury.
Basically, anyone can cry boo and they can ban it.
Mm-hmm. The constitutional problem presented here arises from code blah, 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 which also prohibits, among other things, communicating by electronic communication in a manner likely to cause injury, sickness, distress, emotional discomfort, or
I'm
physical
going to communicate. I'm going to communicate electronically, and it's going to cause you injury.
No, wait a minute. This physical discomfort, could that be expanded to music? Because there's a lot of music that hurts me physically.
There's a lot of music that hurts the average person physically too. I like sending them this. Yes, there's a lot of music that hurts me physically. Anything Mason likes.
Yes. There can be no doubt that this language is susceptible to an interpretation that penalizes a substantial amount of protected expressive activity. Examples: offensive speech. Indeed, this code's plain language imposes no reasonable person limitation and covers such vague effects as distress or emotional discomfort.
Emotional discomfort is something that should be taught. Everyone should be uncomfortable emotionally all the time, except for me, because my emotions have slowly but surely been trampled on by life, which I'm fine with.
This is good. I will program you to be a good minion. Then go forth as you rise up against me.
Yes, for no reason.
Mm-hmm. In that respect, under a reasonable interpretation of this bullshit code, the provision penalizes speech that an individual finds offensive or disagreeable. As the defendant expressed in his deposition, blah.
Disposition, yeah.
Yeah. Disposition. That's deposition. In his view, the code is broad enough. In his view, the code is broad enough to permit the disciplinary action against a student who expresses a racist view that African Americans should not be permitted to roll at GMU. That's a bullshit thing. What about I know you're giving a horrible example here, but what about saying, you speak good English to someone who is obviously not born from here?
I know my non-English friends would probably say thanks. I'm glad I can be understood because English is a tricky language to learn. I know some people who sort of speak both in New Zealand. When they're feeling really lazy, English and Maori, they lapse back into Maori because English is a tricky language to know. Um, so it's I mean, if I learned Swedish and someone said you speak great good Swedish, I'd be like, thanks. That's cool to hear.
Although the bullshit code's plain language reaches beyond the true threats exception, defendant alternatively argued that the restriction is justifiable in light of the Tinker versus Des Moines Independent School District 393 US 503 1969. Okay, footnote at the motion.
I always love when people say it's 1960 or people whenever they do this, something happened in 1926. It's like, do you not realize that maybe in 1969 things that were acceptable then aren't now, and things that are acceptable aren't,
Mm-hmm. Although the Fourth Circuit has cited Tinker as authority in post-secondary education speech cases, the Fourth Circuit has not squarely addressed whether and to what extent Tinker applies in such contexts. And moreover, the Supreme Court's post-Tinker jurisprudence casts some doubt on whether Tinker and its progeny apply to post-secondary schools. Examples: Healy versus James, 408 U.S. 169, 108, 1972.
And you guys can look up those court cases and tell me what the hell it was about. Be sure to email it to me.
Or put it in the comments.
Mm-hmm. Do that. Elliot commands you as it urinate on your still trembling body.
Under Tinker, a public school may proscribe speech without running afoul of the constitutional right to free speech if necessary to protect students or support the educational mission. Thus, public school officials may suppress students' speech if they reasonably conclude that it will materially and substantially disrupt the work and discipline of the school.
You are talking revolutionary talk. Your speech is suppressed. Hire to college.
Mm-hmm. As the Third Circuit has persuasively illuminated, the exact manner in which Tinker applies in the university setting is difficult to explain and likely evades any broad categorical rules. Instead, the teachings of Tinker and its progeny in the elementary and secondary school setting should be scrutinized carefully before being applied to universities.
I got a good dose of what you can and can't say in school. Never mention guns in school at all. Like, even if it's, just
Historically relevant.
Yeah. No, they didn't actually have muskets. They had this. Oh, you can't mention that. Oh, okay.
Goddamn motherfuckers. Can't teach anything anymore.
I want a musket.
Don't we all? With an emphasis on the underlying reasoning of the rule to be applied. The sensible conclusion recognizes that many differences between post-secondary institutions on the one hand and elementary and secondary schools on the other, that which might materially and substantially disrupt an elementary or secondary school could be fundamental to universities.
If a 5-year-old is saying that black shouldn't be allowed in elementary school, maybe you should look at the parents.
Yeah. Also, things they teach in college, whenever you get to law school, you got to learn all kinds of shit about law, especially rape laws and shit. But that might offend me.
Yeah, so we can't teach that.
Yep, so since it violates the college speech code, you can't teach rape laws.
No, everyone has to be ignorant.
Individual sovereignty can only be attained by encouraging the individual to think independently. Independent thinking, in turn, can only be developed through constant questioning. Yes, the expression of new, untried, and heterodox beliefs, that the willingness to tolerate experimentation.
Well, I was told that there's a class in college on critical thinking. It must not be working too well.
Apparently not.
I mean, I think everyone should be forced to take critical thinking classes from elementary to like till they're 90. Of course, I didn't have that. I had to learn critical thinking by myself. But yes, apparently, critical thinking classes in college just don't work because
In sum, the traditions upon which the First Amendment rests. Yes, you need to be able to engage new ideas so that way you see where people are coming from and understand exactly why the fuck you're against this or for this, or even decide that's a completely arbitrary matter that's being brought up.
that's what I always did. That's
Mhm.
what I continue to do. That's why I like having people on this show that I don't always agree with.
Yeah.
It's good
So,
to hear new ideas and see if you like them or not. I mean, I always consider them. And then I can make a judgment. Okay, I don't like this, or maybe I do like this. And even if I don't agree with what some people are saying, a lot of times it's at least it makes me think at least, which
as I was told just earlier today, if what these people are saying bothers you, maybe you should just ignore them. Well, yeah, what they're saying bothers me because they're all fucking going off the rails here. But the thing is, I need to hear what they're saying, so that way I could figure out where they're coming from and know exactly what it is I disagree with there.
yeah, pretty much. And they're trying to grab power. It's. I mean, you can ignore a lot of people but these people are actually out to change the world.
Yay, and not all change is good. See, half
Nope.
the bads we've said were awesome up till the point that they changed so drastically that they sucked out.
As Jeremy Clarkson once said about the British in World War II, and the Allies or whatever. We didn't change the world. We stopped the world from being changed.
It follows that our schools, particularly our universities, must serve as giant bazaars of ideas where the heavy hand of regulation has little place. Like other bazaars.
See, that's why I was kind of interested to go to one. Until I, like spectacularly had every shit sandwich thrown at me in school. Uh, but then when I actually read about, college or whatever, I'm pretty damn glad I didn't go and was able to find. I mean, I was able to find people now with no regulation.
I'm glad that I fucking went before all this fucking continually offended culture took root there.
Yes,
Became
I still think I should have been born much earlier,
yeah, you probably should have.
and
But
I'm glad.
hey, like I said, you give hope for the future generation. The
Yes,
blind shall lead the blind.
I give hope for the future generation until I'm killed by a truck.
Maybe.
Then all hope shall be lost, and you shall collapse into nepenthe.
I'll just be the same misanthrope as always. Just complete apathy. Yes.
You know what? If I die before you,
Yeah.
you have my permission, if it's not smashed, to exhume my skull and do what you like with it.
Awesome. I'll have to bring this recording into court then. Like other bazaars, they may seem rude, cacophonous, and even distasteful at times, but they are necessary. But they are necessary predicates to the more orderly market of ideas in our public life. Uh,
Yes, because public life is always sometimes rude, distasteful, and whatever. And
hmm
that's the way I like it. I like having my preconceptions challenged. I like having my tolerances challenged. I like hearing about stuff that makes me squirm. It's kind of hard, but I like that kind of stuff. I like um, being challenged. It's always fun to
And then
do.
you see these fucking uppity up princess with all this money and fucking sheltered from the fucking world. That the moment they get out of college, they fucking freak. And then, the best part is the fact that they have this one fucking adult daycare. I think it's up in New York now. I think they might have other branches by now, where you enroll for several months after you graduate college. So that way you don't have to put up with the whole entire real world for several months, and you're treated like a child, and you're all nice and coddled and safe.
See,
Fucking shit.
I was born into well, I wouldn't say money, but we were okay. But I had to get hard because I learned right away that me being blind and all, if I didn't start sticking up for myself and defending myself, everyone was going to defend me, and I wouldn't learn anything. I would just oh, let's all feel sorry for him. He's blind, so I lashed out against that, and I think it's of all the smart things I've done in my life, that's probably the only one.
That's definitely one of the best.
Because I mean, I wasn't ever really sheltered or anything, but we had stuff, but I always wanted to know what life was like, and so I found it, and I've seen things that a lot of people haven't seen. I mean, I have friends who are living in old hotels, so it's been an adventure, but I think everyone should be sent out to some third world shithole for like a week at least or a month and forced to see.
Exactly.
Yes.
Unfortunately, a lot of times it's like, oh, I just realized that I am fucking shallow and just did this to, blah, blah, blah. And now I realize that I need to be in my shallow place to be protected from this at all times.
Yeah, true. It doesn't
And
always
still not
take.
comprehend and all this other shit. Just
I
another,
know. I went to high school. I know.
just
Doesn't
another
always
reason
take.
why we have to fire up the ovens and throw humans in.
Yes. I'll get to work on the gas.
Mhm. In short, controversial and sometimes offensive ideas and viewpoints are central to the educational mission of universities. It follows that university students cannot thrive without a certain thickness of skin. Hear that? This is the fucking court saying you need thickness of skin, you motherfuckers. Oh, God. That allows them to engage with expressions that might cause distress or discomfort, which is precisely the type of speech that the code that was complete bullshit seeks to suppress. The coddling of the nation's youth and adults by prescribing any expression on a university campus that is likely to be distressing or discomforting does not protect the work of the school, which such rules frustrate the mission of the university.
Ugh, people. Yes, I agree. New ideas, and you know what? Being offended or whatever, or being challenged. That's what I would have actually liked about college, and that's why I didn't. That's why I mean, I could have done something, got into some even community college, but honestly, I looked at it and I just went, these people are wankers, and not like Jim is. I looked into it and I just went, wow, this sucks. These people are the softest of the soft. So I didn't pursue it. I didn't. I'm glad I didn't too. I would have been thrown out.
Yeah, well, there was this fucking in college. There was this one neo-Nazi chick that was there that I was friends with, and I was also friends with this fucking one black guy from town who was confined to a wheelchair, had like some kind of weird disability going where his arm movements and shit and everything were all very limited. But interesting guy.
I was bed friends with a neo-Nazi chick once.
Yay.
That was an interesting night, actually. I don't regret it.
Yes, you shouldn't. It's always
Although
fun.
her friends were like, "You slept with him, really?" Yes. When the right to left combined, it was interesting. It was we had conversation. She wasn't militant, but she believed what she believed.
No, we had this one deaf chick in my party circles, and my one buddy wore it as a badge of honor that like he got to sleep with her. So, yeah.
Deaf chicks are horrible. I kept telling them what I wanted, they wouldn't fucking listen. It's like they couldn't hear something.
The First Amendment analysis properly focuses on the extent to which regulation prevents interference with the functions of the university. In engaging in the required analysis, it is helpful to bear in mind, as the Third Circuit has articulated, the unique aspects of post-secondary institutions that set them apart from elementary and secondary schools. For instance, there are differing pedagogical goals for each post-secondary institutions do not operate in loco parentis, that is to say, within parental guidance. You're supposed to be being slowly separated from the parents here.
Which for me happened regardless of the fact that I still live at their home.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk to them, but it's I'm basically my own person, so.
The disciplinary needs of post-secondary institutions differ. Post-secondary students are adults with greater maturity. Prove it. Prove they're fucking mature. God, they're acting worse than my kids were whenever I still had custody of them. And
That's good.
I lost custody when my eldest was 5, that's saying something.
That's a great one.
Oh,
fuck. That's good. Continue.
and many university students reside on campus and thus are subject to university rules at almost all times. Yes, get a dorm room.
Yeah, my friend lived in a dorm room and found the rules too restricting. Of course, not going to class at all was kind of what they didn't like about him.
Yeah, that's
He
what
was
they didn't
basically
like
just
about me.
yeah. Aren't you going to class today? Have you actually ever been to class? No. So you just stay here. I pay the rent, don't I? Go away.
Fuck. I'm just remembering the time that, like, I was nice and polite for once. I went and I fucking knocked on my neighbor's door, told him to turn down his rap crap politely, and he refused. So I took my fucking bass guitar, hooked it up to the amp, and then I took my fucking clock radio, which was the only thing I had that had a tape deck on it at the time, because poor broke college student, and put the speaker against the pickups to the fucking bass, then cranked it the whole way up and blasted fucking death metal. I cleared the entire fucking dormitory.
Yay.
And from that day on, for the rest of the semester, no one blasted their shit above an acceptable volume.
That's almost as good as the time where I was hanging out in Puke's apartment. This is after he actually got an apartment, after he did his whole homeless thing. And we heard someone playing Mayhem's Freezing Moon on bass. Okay? So he grabbed his guitar and played along, and you could hear the guy kind of hesitate, like, "Am I hearing something?" And then I did vocals for that back when I could do black metal vocals, and we became good friends. He was like, "Wow, I didn't know you knew this," but yes, blasting death metal is fun. I had that story you wanted me to tell too about the new metal thing.
Okay. We'll finish this up and we'll get right on that.
Yep.
The specific speech in the case was unusual for such speech code cases. The plaintiff sent a text message to an ex-girlfriend in which the plaintiff that if the ex-girlfriend did not respond, plaintiff would obtain a gun and shoot himself in the chest. And true threats of criminal conduct aimed at coercing.
To which I would say, go do it. I mean,
Yeah.
if an ex ever told me that, I'd go, who needs you? I mean, if that sounds harsh, well, it's because I don't forgive.
Yeah. And true threats of criminal conduct aimed at coercing the target into complying are indeed constitutionally unprotected. But the court concluded that the threats of suicide don't qualify. And though a university could investigate threats of suicide to see whether they are serious and detain the students who are making such threats for their own protection, the university couldn't punish such threats on the grounds that they are distressing.
I was just thinking, like, not to get off topic, but that's kind of what we do. I think of how awesome it is that my avatar is a pig head. Do you know anything about the band Mayhem? They
No.
at their concerts they throw around pig heads. Well, they have them impaled on stakes, or at least they used to, and they used to throw them around.
I just remember seeing a picture of some guy fucking a pig head.
At Mayhem for shows up until recently, I think they they had pig heads impaled on spikes obtained from a butcher shop. And in the old days, Dad used to throw pig heads around to try to get people out. But I just remember the classic interview. I hate the pig heads because it's hot and they are starting to rot, and it smells. So
Yes.
kind of apropos that my avatar is a pig head.
It is cool.
Yes, very, very black metal.
At any rate, you said you had something about fucking new metal.
So back in the old day, well, okay, 6 years ago, not really old, but old as in shit. I've aged. even my friend thinks so. If you look at a picture from me of that time, the me of now, which if you look for a picture of me of that time, I'm calling the cops. Although one does exist. We used to go to death metal shows a lot, and for some reason, new metal bands always used to open up for them. And we ain't talking, just groove metal bands. We're talking with a DJ and rap.
Oh, God.
You open up for death metal. The band didn't like it. The bands hated it. So one day, Pew cornered the singer. We didn't see him for 10 weeks. The singer.
Beautiful.
Apparently, he had a cast on his leg and several stitches.
Oops.
The
I fell down a few flights of stairs.
Yeah, the promoter eventually got the hit. Because people would throw shit at the drummer got a beer bottle, not can, but bottle to the head. So people stopped booking new. Why would you have a new metal? First of all, because I was remembering that because I watched the Death Clock episode where Toki and Murderface signed this, wigger rap metal band or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And as Nathan says, could someone tell them what year this is?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you? Like, Jesus, Limp Bizkit stopped being relevant 15 years ago. And yet here this band was with DJ and rap vocals claiming they were metal. Bringing metal to the new generation, to quote Fred Durst.
That's not metal. You're bringing rock and fucking alt rock and fucking one of the most detestable forms thereof.
I don't know if the band broke up, but I know they never promoted death metal again. Apparently, the singer of one of the bands approached Puke and said, "Thank you," because
yes, many thanks were needed for that.
I mean, I've gone to shows and seen some shit bands play. You know, I've the Anvil show had some crap bands. I saw Malice play with some crap bands, but you know, usually they were at least somewhat metal. Although that one Anvil show was weird because he had some death metal, and then Anvil, which was like an old school heavy metal band. But new metal opening up for death metal,
Yeah.
that's just not good. So yeah, that was just a little fun story. It was better if you were there though. I wasn't there when the beating happened, but I know about it. Um, yeah, the Puke Gang. It was pretty much a gang. All you had to do was cry poser if you were respectable. That is, I mean, they wouldn't just listen to anyone, you know. But like
Mm-hmm.
all I had to do was say, "Hey, look, there's a poser over here," and they were exiting the building, either by running or.
Yes, yes, they deserved it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we pretty much owned the show, but we wouldn't like disrupt them or whatever. Unless the band sucks, then we would, you know, throw things. But you know, we'd always make sure that, you know, well, they would. I would be more drunk, but they would always make sure the shows were running fine, and they would always make sure there were good bands. So it wasn't like, you know, Nazis, you know, or skinheads just busting up the show. We would definitely get bands off the stage, but only if they sucked.
Yeah, that's good.
Um. So yeah, good times.
And
I
that's a
do miss
great.
those times.
And that just shows to prove you can't be friends with everyone.
You can't be friends with everyone, unlike what some people think with the metal. That was a fun argument that spilled over into Saturday with your with the metal elitist thing. By the way,
Yeah, God, that fucking hurt my fucking head. It's like
yeah,
you got this fucking idea in your head that everything has to be this nebulous brotherhood where they welcome you with open arms into their clutches. Oh,
my
fuck.
favorite was Mason saying that death metal wasn't accepted among metal purists. Okay, just a little history lesson because you know how much I love metal history lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Death metal was created by people who listened to Metallica, who listened to maybe Slayer, Creator, and said, "This is really good. Let's go further." You know, how much further can we take this? How much
Mm-hmm.
how much further can we take this? How much
And
now
then we have the death metal, black metal split.
now okay, granted there were people who didn't accept it, but those were more along the lines of your Black Sabbath fans who were more classic rock than heavy metal, who never really migrated to the new thrash sound. Whereas deathcore and new metal and all the shit that Mason likes isn't metalheads going in a different direction. They are people who, let's face it, weren't really metalheads. Jonathan Davis of Korn has said something to the effect of, "I didn't really like metal until I heard Pantera." You know, the groove.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't people who were, you know, diehard metal fans.
One of the things I loved about that argument, but you didn't get to fucking see it, was fucking Corey. He fucking posted a bunch of shit saying, you know what brotherhoods do? They go after people that aren't part of the brotherhood. You know, you fucking have to stand up for the brotherhood at all consequences. And then he fucking something along those lines. And then he started posting pictures of things done in the name of the brotherhood, which was the Holocaust. These fucking Islamists going around beheading people for saying that, you know, blasphemy laws are bullshit, you know?
And yes, the death metal black metal split, um, where you had, and I'll give this one caveat. I love death metal. Everyone knows I'm a massive death metal fan, so I'm not dissing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Dissing on it. I hate that word. But however, I am saying this as someone who understands the arguments. You death metal in the 89, 90, 91 was good, but kind of starting to sound uniform. It was you had bands going to the same recording studio and asking for the same producer. They called it the Tampa sound or the Stockholm sound. More sound in Sunlight Studios. Great studios. I'm not huge on Scott Burns, as everyone knows, but you had Napalm Death flying to the states to go work with Morrisound and Scott Burns. Same with Sepultura, uh, who flew to the states on a rise. Although Beneath the Remains, Scott worked with them in Brazil. I believe Trans Metal from Mexico went to Florida, went up to Florida, I guess, or down. I don't fucking know. I flunked geography. Give me a break. To go
Mm-hmm.
work with Scott. So you had all these bands working, going everywhere to, you had Dark Throne going to Sweden to go work with Sunlight. You had Vader from Poland going to work with Sunlight, although Vader hated the sound. So basically, what I'm saying is you had the sound, you had the Tampa sound, and you had the Stockholm sound, and death metal was becoming more commercialized. I mean, it will never be truly commercial. I mean, Cannibal Corpse has sold what 1 million records, which is good, but compared to like Metallica.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you had Ace Ventura, Hammer Smash Face, as
You've
Euronymous
had
said.
Guar go on a couple fucking movies for like brief scenes.
Beavis and Butthead.
Uh huh.
You had Entombed playing a disco show, which I've actually seen. Couldn't hear what they were saying, but it just felt awkward to me. Napalm Death were on a kid show, I believe. Um,
Beautiful.
so and Earache had huge videos and were about to be bought by CBS Records. So you can understand the underground were going. I mean, Euronymous said, "Look, being big and selling out are two different things. Playing on a disco show was a sign of selling out. Being big like Venom, they weren't commercial. So that was what the black metal thing was. But the whole thing Mason's arguing with is shit that isn't the product of metalheads trying to further extremify the genre. It's people who weren't normally into metal discovering metal and blending it with their, you know, influences, whatever they
Yeah.
may be. And that's why so many bands got shit for switching to new metal and groove metal because they weren't new metal and groove metal already. It's just the kid just doesn't understand.
Nah. And there's so many points even further than that. It's like fucking shit. Why not just accept the fact you're rejected? It tells you people that you shouldn't be bothering with then. They're not worth your time. Why do you need to feel accepted by everyone?
Yeah, I've never tried to be accepted by anyone who didn't want to accept me. That's why I've never tried to get back. Maybe okay, once when I was bored, but I've never really tried to get back with an ex. Uh, if she wanted to get back, fine, but I've never. Please take me back because you broke up with me. What? Okay, you rejected me. I'm fine with that. Go
See,
away.
see, I went through a phase in my life where once I had kids, I tried to belong to society just so I could be the good dad and show that, I was a good example. And that was the fucking biggest mistake of my life. God, putting on that happy face and acting all the fuck. I do enough of that at work. I don't need to do that in my off time.
See, that's why I'm kind of glad I didn't know you back then because I probably would have strangled you.
And I would have deserved it. Fuck.
Yes, yes, you probably would have. As much as I would have enjoyed the LSD before that, if I saw what you became, I would have been like, take a good look in the mirror, dude.
Uh huh. Well, that was me trying to put forth a good face for my kids and be the right role model for them.
Well, that's why if
And
I
even
ever,
through all the hoops that the fuck everyone put in front of me trying to belong, I still lost my rights to them. So, yeah, that still ended up bad.
that's why if I ever have kids, I'm not going to put on a fucking face. I mean, I'll tone myself down just a little bit. Like I won't tell them to
Just
go.
enough so that way there's no criminal charges launched.
Yeah, but I'll tell them, look, you may think I'm nuts, so you may think I'm a bad role model. But if I leave you with anything, it's just be yourself and don't take shit from anyone.
Good.
That's the only thing I could say. But kids seem to like me somehow, which is weird because I don't like kids. I like dogs. I don't like kids.
Anyways, on to the next story I found here.
Next story.
I didn't say no, but it was still rape.
My mind gets raped every day, and I say no. Do I get pity? I
I
want,
don't know.
I want
This
pity,
article,
and I want pity and free money.
the article is by Laura Giannino. You okay? A boy asks me in the middle of consensual sex. She emphasizes that. His hands are firm on my hips, his breathing ragged over my ear. I turn my head to the side, twist my mouth into a grimace. He's having trouble getting off, he tells me. He'll finish soon, he promises. One quick thrust. It hurts, I tell him. You want to stop, he says without pausing. There's a slight annoyance in his voice as he continues. I'm really close. I don't remember the feel of the boy's hands. I don't remember his caresses or kisses. I don't remember the words he said to me before we started having sex. I do remember his heaviness pressed against me, the way he pinned me down by the very act of what we were doing, his erratic, persistent, insistent movements, his loud pleasure and my pain. I remember speaking this quiet, muffled answer, kind of, but it's unclear. You're already in the middle of sex. You just said yes, and you only say kind of. I'll remind myself.
Yeah, there's a way you can say yes, I want to stop because I'm in pain, which is by saying yes, I want to stop because I'm sorry. The world just I'm
Yeah. Yeah, more victims for the fucking furnaces. I will remind myself later, for days, for weeks, for years, what exactly I have said kind of to. It's too non-committal, and it's too late. He was already inside you.
yeah, and yeah. Well, let's. Oh God.
Just let me finish, he says. It won't be much longer. He hurries and then he comes. He's slumping on top of me. And though I'm not sure why, I'm starting to cry. When he sees me, he's angry. Why didn't I tell him I was crying? And why didn't I say I wanted him to stop?
Because you want to write this piece to be a victim and get sympathy from people who don't understand that you could always speak up. I mean, maybe in a actual rape situation you couldn't, but I mean, I don't know this guy, but I would have been disappointed. But when it ain't the end of the world, I would have probably just raided your fridge and walked away.
He feels weird now. He feels guilty. What? You're fucking crying after sex? Of course he's going to feel weird and guilty. Most normal people will. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're going to have sex. Okay, let's do it. I'm only, now I'm crying.
Actually, usually I just once again raid the fridge, steal their alcohol, and then walk away. I don't have time for that shit.
I have ruined this for him. I am always ruining things for him. Oh, God. What a useless bitch. If you're telling yourself that shit, feminism has failed this person because they feel like they're shit. I tried to tell you, I say. I thought I did, didn't I? Still just thinking back to the days whenever they actually celebrated strength in women, not this bullshit.
Mumbling the word kind of isn't trying to tell me something. Saying, yeah, I'm not really enjoying this is trying to tell me something. Mumbling the word kind of is kind of like, okay, could you grow a spine?
Mm,
I mean, I like strong women. I've never wanted to date a, you know,
weakling.
yeah, I've always liked people, I'm not saying like, women who would like beat the crap out of me for no reason. I mean,
Well,
that,
I
that, that,
kind of like that in the bedroom, but still,
I'm not masochistic. I'm sadistic.
I'm a
Although, for some,
sadomasochist.
I'm a sadist. Although not really a sexual sadist, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
I've tried it. Just doesn't really. But as far as all around the world goes, Jim, come over to LA and I'll show you. I'll just push you into a thing of spikes.
I build my own spike pits. You'll enjoy falling on them.
I don't want to fall on them. God damn! I said I'm sadistic, not masochistic. You dumb shit.
I'll enjoy watching you fall on them.
You know what? We'll compromise, Eric.
Okay, yeah, there we go. He's pulling on his clothes and observing me with disgust. I'm naked and confused, mascara streaked and ugly, alone on a hotel bed. He tells me,
I'd observe you with disgust too. I mean, okay, if you change your mind halfway through it, let me know. And I mean, yeah, I'll be annoyed, but whatever. Whatever. There's more important thing I could be doing than having an unsatisfactory love affair, like
yeah,
watching racing.
drinking beer.
Drink. Why not do both?
That sounds like you're kind of fun. I'm not really into racing. I might just sit there and chill.
Or do the show and drink beer, which reminds me, I gotta get a beer one of these days.
Or listen to fucking good shit.
Yeah. It's always good. I'll be getting back into thrash, by the way, as I think I told you.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, I miss it.
He tells me, I don't get it. Get what? I think with desperation, I pull the covers to my chin. He's already crossed the room. Get what? I shout, you're fucking there crying on the bed after sex. He doesn't understand why you're crying. It's
Actually,
supposed
literally, if this happened, what I would say is, am I going to see this on a news article or website in a couple of years?
yeah. Fuck. Just. I mean, seriously, you're sitting there crying after sex, an act which is supposed to be mutually, happy, good time feeling. And yet you are crying. Lovely. I shower and I cry and I can't figure out what it is I'm supposed to get. He doesn't understand the emotional distress here. You have to speak it.
You
Get
don't
out
even
of your
understand
mind.
that she doesn't even understand by the looks of this.
Yeah, she doesn't. When I emerge, we don't talk about it. I never speak of it again. So you had sex that sucked and cried because it sucked so bad.
Boy, have I had
Now you're
sex that
pissed
sucked.
off at the guy because he didn't understand that it was bad sex.
Yeah.
And yes, I've had some really shitty sex. I hate it when they just lie there and do nothing. Ugh.
Eh, I just try as hard as I can. And if it doesn't work, then I just say it's. You ever have one of those nights where she doesn't really want to have sex, but is too polite to ask you to leave, and you're too much of a moron to actually leave, so you end up watching a movie together?
See, I've had that happen, and that's fine and dandy.
Oh, it's awkward because she's thinking, okay, no sex, get out, but I'm not going to ask you to get out because I'm too polite for that. And you're thinking, she really wants me to leave, but I just don't leave. I just don't want to leave. So it's just awkward, which is I always find hilarious.
See, that's
But
only
anyway,
really happened to me when I was too drunk to leave. So,
for me it was just I don't know why I could have called Puke and went, hey, I need to go get out of here, but I was just like, hey, I'm not leaving.
here's a recent search in my Google history. Is it rape if you ask him to stop in the middle of having sex?
No. I mean, I guess very, very technically, it's without consent, and I guess if you ask, but it doesn't. It no
You had his
because
consent beforehand, and now you're telling him to stop.
well, not just that. You can tell him to stop more firmly than kind of.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Jim, do you want to stop the show? Kind
Why?
of. Kind of. You
Okay.
moron.
Yesterday, today, and in this very moment, girls on forums across the internet are sending confused, desperate questions into the ether. I didn't stop him, one girl writes. I just laid there silent until he stopped thrusting. Is it rape? You lie there silent until he stopped thrusting. No, if you agreed to it beforehand. Oh, God. Another girl asks, her words urgent, awaiting anyone to validate her feelings about what happened to her. It started to hurt, she writes. I told him to stop, and he kept going. And that there is, at least you said to stop, okay? That girls has one up on the author here, because at least she said stop.
Yes, and if that were to happen to me, I would stop. But I would also say, well, you've just ruined my night, and you've ruined possibly my entire week. I hate you, and hope something bad happens to you. Then I'd leave and just forget about it. I just like making them feel guilty from my misfortune.
Yeah. The first time he did it, I did not give my consent. The second time, I don't know why I asked him to have sex with me. Okay.
Just keep going. We gotta hear the because
Another writes, I don't know if it's considered rape anymore because of the second time.
yeah.
Humanity going down the shithole. Gotta love it.
And you wonder why I want long distance relationships at first.
Yeah.
I gotta test and make sure they're not psycho.
What is rape? Girl after girl asks in a million different ways. What is rape? They ask strangers across states, countries, continents, hoping for confirmation from anonymous people who will never know their names. Did you say no? Men and women alike want to know. If not no, then stop. Had you already consented? How forceful was he? How forceful were you?
That's why there's such a thing as safe words. It's not just in BDSM, it's also in, a lot of people have it in any, if it gets too rough or whatever. And it's, so something that's, like the complete opposite of orgasm, like Tom Cruise.
Did he get distracted? Was he unable to stop himself? Did he apologize after? Did you sleep with him again? Is this something you've done before? Are you the kind of girl who sleeps with strangers? Are you manipulative? Are you misleading? Are you a tease? Are you a slut?
I've dated and banged all of those types. And that's why I kind of got out of the relationship thing for a while, because I was tired of certain people.
Yeah.
However, what the manipulatives didn't count on is one little thing. I too am very manipulative, so if you try to manipulate me, I can manipulate you right back. Who's playing whom?
Between the abortion issue and a woman's prerogative to change her mind at any given moment, one angry anonymous forum goer writes, people will eventually squeeze all the natural enjoyment out of sex and reduce it to merely a legal act of business between two consenting parties. Yay, that's the way it was back in medieval times when arranged marriages were a thing.
It was, but it wasn't. I mean, you know, people still philandered in medieval times. And besides, you know, a lot of arranged marriages weren't as, you know, it's not like they were complete strangers. Sometimes it was, okay, you're kind of attractive, or you're kind of cool, I'll do it. Although sometimes this arranged marriage isn't working. Kill the bride.
My rape is not rape to attorneys or lawyers or judges. And if another woman has gone through something like this, it might not be her definition of rape either.
Okay, so it's your own personal definition of rape. My definition of rape is being forced to listen to trip hop.
Oh, God.
No, I'm not kidding there.
The Rape Abuse Incest National Network lets me know via their website it doesn't matter if you think your partner means yes or if you've already started having sex. No also means stop. If you proceed despite your partner's expressed instruction to stop, you have not only violated basic codes of morality and decency, you may have also committed a crime under the laws of your state.
I violate laws of morality and decency all the time. See, that's the thing that kind of turned me off about sex at the first, because I would read all these things and I'm just like, I'm sorry, there's so many rules.
Rules and regulations is a huge legal bind.
Yeah, but that's why I kind of like the punk metal girls who are more like, I mean, yeah, if it hurts, yeah, but they're not going to be like, well, you only did 15 thrusts a minute. You're supposed to do that's rape now.
Yay. Now I have to wonder if my scenario counts as rape. Kind of is not exactly expressed instruction.
No, it's a weak-willed thing that if someone says kind of, I'd probably keep doing it. I mean, just if you need to be firm with Elliot, you can't just do you want me to stop murdering you? Kind of. Snap, snap,
Okay.
snap. You need to be firm with me because I don't listen to people that well.
It's not a no.
So I'll just kind of stab you some more.
Recently, a friend and I were talking about our relationships, both past and present, the men who treated us well and the ones who didn't. Maybe it was the influence of alcohol or the dim lighting of the dark bar where we stood, or maybe it was in the safety of friendship. We began to open up. I think, she confided in me, I've been raped at least twice by different men whom I've dated. I told my friend that I was pretty sure I had been too.
I hope somewhere there's an ex talking to her friend about relationships past to present, and I hope she goes, "Yeah, I dated this one guy who was into this really evil music and kept talking about Satanism."
Later, we admitted to each other that we'd never said those words out loud before. The men raped us, but even as we spoke our truths, we wanted to push them back in, to quantify what happened to us in 1,000 different ways. But with solidarity came acceptance. Then we said it one more time just to be sure. He raped me. Kind of. Sort of.
No, no. Sorry, if it's not rape in legal talk, then sorry, dude. It ain't or chick. It ain't rape. If it quacks like a duck, if it quacks like a, if it honks like a goose, walks like a goose, you can't call it a fucking duck. I mean, you can, but you'd be wrong.
My girlfriend sent me this article saying that this is all just about someone having bad sex and then saying it's rape afterwards. I see where she's going with it. Oh, fuck.
Because bad sex is not allowed to happen. It has to be either good or.
Uh,
I hope she's not in a relationship. This woman. I really hope not, because I feel bad for the guy. And yet, I would probably date someone like this if unless someone awesome saves me from myself.
no
Because
one
I am a
needs this
fucking
shit.
moron. Yes, but Jim, you forget that I am a moron.
Yeah.
And I dive into things way over my head, and I need someone like you to tell me you're a moron.
My rape is not rape to attorneys or lawyers or judges. And if another woman has gone through something like this, it might not be her definition of rape either. I'm not calling in a jury. I'm not asking anyone's opinion. Rape covers a multitude of experiences. It covers one, non-consensual sex. Unless you're using the figurative term like that music raped my ears. Someone kill that person now.
So wait a minute. If she's onto something, can I charge bands with rape?
Oh my god, we should do that.
Yeah, who's the first band we should take to court? I say Green Day.
Yes, let's go with Green Day.
Green Day's for Kiss second.
Rape is a gray and blurry, messy area. Uh, in calling what happened to me rape, it now has a name that takes the responsibility off of me.
Good, that's what she wanted. That's what she wanted. What's responsibility anymore?
Yeah, you don't want responsibility for making a bad call. Oh, God. Fucking way to go. Keep getting yourself pampered and sheltered from more life. Fucking scum. And it puts it on someone else, regardless of whether that person goes to prison for it or not. And you can also ruin people's life with this shit.
You want someone to go to prison for not adequately servicing you sexually? Jesus fuck. Hey, I mean, I know how drunk I've been. I'd be in prison for life because
Fuck.
I've been so drunk, pass out, and she's like, "You moron."
See, before the ex-wife, I'm certain I had at least a few encounters that were not fulfilling for the woman because I was a fucking complete moron. After the ex-wife, there was no excuse. I learned every dirty trick in the book.
I ate the book.
Good. In defining my experience as rape, I'm no longer to blame. This doesn't change the fact that it happened or the fact that there are still times before or during sex where I tense up in momentary fear that if I ask to stop, the person who I'm with might not.
I love the fact that she's not even saying, well, it wasn't really the man's fault because I said kind of. You know, well, whether he goes to prison or not. So basically, oh, God. God.
Yeah, let's ruin people's lives. Even without the prison time, because that happens a lot these days. People go on fucking rapist witch hunts and burn people's houses down and shit.
Yay, burn people's houses down.
What has changed is my strength in these moments. I am no longer scared to speak up. I no longer believe that anybody has the right to make decisions about my body for me but me, regardless of the situation. Yeah, but you know.
I mean, I think it's kind
Yeah.
of a common courtesy to let the guy finish, but that's or girl finish, because let's face it, I've had some sexual experiences with the women were enjoying it more than I was, mainly because I was too drunk. But I think it's all kind of common courtesy, but it must be some sort of sexist.
To the girls who ask, what is rape? I say this. Know that your experience should not be categorized normal just because you didn't think you could categorize it as legitimate rape. Know that many know that many people will look at rape in terms of black and white. No and stop. Be wary.
Yeah, because that's what it is. Have you ever read a court document before? I'm sorry for this. I kind of have to side with the court. It may be a bad encounter. It may be, unwilling to continue or whatever, but it's not rape. Just don't see the guy again and move on with your sad little pathetic life. Or set yourself on fire. Oh, I did it again, didn't I?
Hold out for the partners who will ask if it's okay before they touch you, who ask and mean it, who in a moment of consensual ambiguity will pause the entire act until it becomes clear.
Yeah, I got in trouble for basically taking this to a new level, and because I heard her ranting. I heard this girl ranting about something. So is it okay if I inhale? Is it okay if I ask you if it's okay? And she got pissed off and left.
Good.
I got fed. I got fed because look, there's such a thing as spontaneity and fucking let's just do this shit. But dear God,
Yeah.
I'm going to stop and ask if it's all right that I put my finger on thy left bosom.
Fuck, last night my girlfriend was jamming her tits in my mouth. I was like, oh, so that's what you want. Okay.
Thanks for telling me. I don't really want to picture you in at all.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there was like no fucking preempting there.
I
Like,
think I think my
tit
chicken
my mouth, I'm
nuggets are
thinking, I know
about.
what
I
she
think my
wants.
chicken nuggets are about to come up. Just pick.
Know that these people exist. Don't let negative experiences prevent you from trusting someone.
I still love that Duckman feminism thing. When is it all right to kiss a woman? When her husband's not looking? No, when you get permission via a via a society approved notary public and country.
God. Know that you can always say no, but if you're scared, if you're unsure, if your mouth won't form the words because you're so overcome with emotion, or because you don't know what he'll do to you if you say it, remember this. You didn't ask for it.
Remember this. I'll stop, but your fridge will be minus any alcohol. That is my revenge.
Yay, your fridge will be minus all alcohol. I need it to numb the blue ball pain. It didn't.
No, that was Valorous and the Pathfinder after
Yeah.
getting all the horrors infected.
Hey. It didn't happen because you were too drunk or too dumb or dressed too scantily. It happened because the person you were with was greedy and wanted to take something that wasn't theirs.
No, it happened because you were too dumb.
Yeah, you had already said yes. And then
I mean, if you're
kind of,
afraid,
sort of, maybe, I don't know.
just say words. maybe that would help a lot of things if people just said words. Yes, okay, there are aggressive people who won't stop, but there are people who will. I mean, like I said, will I be annoyed? Yeah, but you know, I get annoyed when my dog barks.
Yeah.
I get annoyed at everything. So fuck it. That's why I don't do one night stands anymore. That's why I like to know the woman before, because I want to make sure that all
This
and
shouldn't going to be an issue.
well, we
God.
do talk about sex. That's like she was like, I remember reading something like, uh, I really don't want to talk about like if I'm interested in you, please don't message me about sex. I'm like, it was a post on a Facebook page. I'm like, well, personally, if we're interested in each other, I want to kind of know what your do's and don'ts are. Just kind of get a feel for, you know, do you like having, your skin eviscerated, no, but just your do's and don'ts, and if you're really into it or not. I mean,
If you couldn't speak up then, speak up now. Be loud. Don't let anyone's questions marginalize your feelings or your value or your beliefs or your pain. Feel it all.
no, be marginalized and shut up. And for God's sake, don't go out on a date with anyone anymore.
Yeah, hair cancer.
Of course, now because of this, we'll be branded as MRA sexist pigs.
Yay, MRA, sexist pigs.
I
So
mean,
much fun.
yeah. And if you
Mm.
and if you really think that about me, and you're not going to take the time to get to know me, or to email me, or engage me in conversation, who's the real idiot? I mean, other than me, because I'm an idiot. I already know that. But you're also an idiot because you won't take the time to get to know who I am, really. It's all about judgment.
Stabbing people for fun and profit.
Yes, fun first, though.
Always fun. Well, LA officials bring the hammer down on tiny houses for the homeless.
Damn bums. I didn't know about this. Okay, let's hear about this. Thank you, Los Angeles. You beautiful bastard. The Of course, LA is of course my home.
Yeah. Elvis Summers is not part of a nonprofit or government agency. He's just a 38-year-old guy with a mohawk and tattooed arms who started a GoFundMe campaign last spring so he could build tiny houses for the homeless people to live in. Nice idea there. I would have liked that instead of sleeping under a fucking bridge the couple nights I did.
Puke would have liked that instead of staying in an abandoned hotel with rats and chains and.
Yeah. I might even not have gone to the shelter that brainwashed me. That actually found work from there. I don't know.
Yeah, but you have interesting stories about you being brainwashed, so.
Yeah, there's that too. So yeah, he got the idea after befriending a homeless woman in his neighborhood. It just got to me, I'm just like, everybody in this neighborhood knows you, like they like you. He says, why does nobody give a crap that you're sleeping in the dirt, literally? So
Because, I mean, okay, I live in Sunland, Tahunga. I don't feel any, about giving away because no one cares. But there's a wash with a lot of homeless people, and a lot of the homeless people are, shall we say, professional homeless people. It's not like you who lost everything. They probably could have stuff or even Social Security, but they just don't want it for whatever reason. So there's a lot of anti-homeless feelings around here, that after seeing, my friends and shit, I understand, but at the same time, I disagree with, because you'll impact real people, who don't have anywhere else to go. It's kind of, Yeah, there are people sleeping in the flower beds who fucking, you know, aren't. But you're also impacting real people. So that's why, and the reason why nobody cares because, as you said, you're less than human if you're homeless.
Yeah, I know. God, don't remind me of that.
No, I was saying,
Actually, yeah, I do need to remind you of that. So I remember to be pissed off at society and wish it death.
well, I was just quoting what you said on your own status.
Yeah. God. People shit on you all the time.
And set you on fire.
That might have been a godsend at times. Anyway, so far, Summer has given out 37 6 by 8 foot houses, which cost around $1,200 each to build. They resemble sheds painted in bright, solid colors with solar panels on the roof, wheels to make them mobile and portable, and a portable camping toilet.
The only problem with that is I probably wouldn't be able to fucking fit in it.
Yeah.
Because I'm 6'2". But still.
Yeah. It's long enough. It's 8 foot long.
Yeah, but 6 foot wide. If I wanted to fucking sleep, I'd have to sleep. But still, it's much better than nothing.
Yeah.
But of course, LA is gonna fuck it all up because LA wants to be, LA's yuppie fucking capital of the fucking. Well, okay, San Francisco's worse, but still, LA is pretty fucking bad. I despise Los Angeles, California, and especially the fucking little suburb I fucking live in. Piece of shit. Go fucking drown yourself in acid.
Good. But recently, city sanitation workers have confiscated 3 of the houses from a sidewalk in Los Angeles and tagged others for removal. Unfortunately, these structures are a safety hazard, says Connie Lanos, a spokeswoman for LA Mayor Eric Garcetti. These structures, some of the materials that were found in them, just the thought of folks having some of these things in a space so small, so confined, without proper insulation, it really does put their lives in danger.
Okay, yeah. What it really is we want these icky homeless people out of here.
Because ew, homeless.
Because they might devalue the property of the neighborhood.
Time to set the government on fire again.
Ugh, fucking yuppie. Gotta hate LA.
Lanos said they'd be better off taking advantage of official resources like shelters or housing vouchers. You're not
which are overcrowded. Fucking nobody can get in. That's why churches open up the fucking things where, well, we'll give you this nice hot soup if you just pray to this god.
And then you got the fucking vouchers. Like, people run out of money for that shit as the year goes on. Fucking, oh, God.
Well, if you just get a job, oh god, I've heard the arguments. Well, these people should just get jobs.
I'm still trying to get a job and I got a roof over my head.
Yeah, I know.
Hell, back when I was homeless, I was trying to fucking get a job when I didn't have a roof over my head. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Whenever no one wants to hire you, no one wants to hire you. Hell, that one job I was all stoked about thinking I was going to get, yeah, they fucking politely told me, no, we didn't hire you. We hired someone else. Fuck you.
Oh, they did?
Mm-mm.
That sucks. I mean,
yep. I'm waiting for calls back from a warehouse and other places now. So
I'm going to be selfish and say it's good for the show, but it sucks for you. No,
yeah,
I'm kidding. Don't beat me up.
I'll beat you up anyway. You'll enjoy it.
Probably not, because you're not a fucking hot metal girl. So, if you can hire one of those to do it for you, sure.
Okay, that sounds like fun then. According to the latest count, 44,000 people live on the streets in in and around LA. The city's sweep put some people back on the sidewalks, and since then, Summers has been handing out tents instead. While Willie had not lost his tiny house when the city confiscated it. About my house, I had a peace of mind. I could shut the door, go lay down and quiet. And that's what I miss a whole lot, man. I don't want to start crying. Yeah, that would fucking suck.
Whoever, I mean, we got to share. This is another thing that we got to share. I think we got to share this post.
Yeah.
This article.
Fucking people.
Try posting it in the comments and everything.
Yeah, well. Someone who understands that pain is Kevin Green, whose tiny house was tagged for removal. Before the city could take it, Summers moved it to a parking lot where it now stands temporarily. When you're homeless, your day is consumed with, that you don't have a place to store your things, so you're walking around carrying all this stuff with you. That's if you're lucky to have things, by the way.
I mean, okay, and I'll grant you that there are, the less seemly homeless people. Do you have? You probably have 7-Elevens where you live, right?
Yeah.
Do you? Because we get people at 7-Eleven asking for change.
Oh yeah.
But the ones here are actually quite aggressive.
Oh, I've bumped into a few that were aggressive. Fucking shit. But the one that really fucking pissed me off was this, like, we were out and this guy fucking panhandle, he was talking up a good game and all that, real aggressive. Like, it's okay, here you go. And then while we're waiting to get in line to fucking see the concert, I see the guy turn. Since we turned the corner, he didn't know that, we were going the same way he was.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him hop in this really expensive car and drive off.
Yeah, that gives, I'll say homeless because, a lot of people say that gives them a very bad name.
Uh-huh.
So then they start looking, that's what a lot of it's coming from. It's not that they have unsafe houses or whatever. It's that, well, it's, gentrification. All that lovely gentrification, making the yuppies happy and tearing down low-income housing to build lofts and all that lovely stuff that people need to be shot for.
Yeah, yuppie filth must be burned alive so we could savor their screams.
Yes. How many people have we sentenced to death on air now?
Everyone on the planet.
We've done 70 shows.
We're completely omnicidal here. Everything must die.
Everything must die.
What can you get accomplished? Asks Green, who lived on the streets of South LA for 6 months before he got his house around Christmas. His bed takes up most of the tiny blue house. Green's proud to have a roof over his head as he opens the door and steps inside. I have 2 windows, one on each side with a blue curtain, thin enough to allow the breeze to come through, he says. I keep my keys around a keychain that I hang around my neck. But, it's a constant reminder with it around my neck that I have something that I can call mine.
And it was really, really raining this morning, so I feel bad for them. Shit.
Yeah. I fucking love this shit. It's bullshit. Executing people.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, people should just go to the overcrowded places that won't have you. Or maybe if you all just drop dead, not be better if all they just drop dead. Yeah, thanks for your loving compassion. That's very Christian of you.
Now, there's this guy who had charges against him for child endangerment and exposure of a child to drugs. He had them dismissed, okay, which is a good thing. But the fact they were brought up to begin with is complete bullshit, okay?
Okay.
Because he was charged after his newborn tested positive for amphetamines and opiates, even though he turned his wife into the cops, the girl he knocked up to the cops, and fucking limited her funding so she couldn't go out and get drugs. She still found a way to get drugs on her own, and he's the one charged with it.
Nice.
Blue Earth County Human Services Child Protection reports the child tested positive for amphetamines and opiates after birth, and the mother tested positive for opiates. Authorities say 41-year-old Daniel Sturdivant allegedly told them he was concerned about the woman's meth use and did not want her to use it while she was pregnant. County officials
But
say
afterwards, she can just go wild.
Yeah. Then authorities say Daniel said he felt he could not control her since he was gone with work for a week or more at a time. Authorities say he didn't do anything to stop the mother other than trying to limit the money she had available to spend on drugs.
See, I'm fine with some drugs, but I think meth would be about my limit. I don't think I would have some sort of stable relationship with some sort of meth user.
That's impossible.
True, true, but he managed.
According to the report, the mother admitted to health officials in September that she had smoked methamphetamine in her second trimester of pregnancy. Police say the newborn had to remain at the hospital due to withdrawal symptoms and was possibly going to be transferred to Rochester for further treatment for withdrawals.
Yeah, see, if you I know if you drink during a pregnancy, you get fetal alcohol syndrome, and your baby becomes Stephen Hawking. You'll get that great Stephen Hawking look, minus all that cumbersome intelligence.
So they were trying to throw the book at him with all those charges. And when KTO News asked Blue Earth County Attorney Pat McDermott about the felony charges filed Friday against 41-year-old Daniel Sturdivant after his newborn tested positive for methamphetamines, McDermott says he reviewed the case and dismissed the charges against Sturdivant. McDermott says his office has also declined charges against the mother of the infant. Now, why even charge the father? He was probably away at work when this happened.
Yeah, but you don't know that happened, so it's a precautionary thing basically.
But they didn't bother. They didn't fucking bother to bring charges against the mother of the infant, the one who actually did it.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, but
they bring charges against dad, but not mom. Why?
I think charges will be against mom eventually. That's my prediction.
No, they declined charges against her. That's what he officially
said. I said eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't say right now. But this ain't gonna end because he's probably gonna go. Wait a minute. Yeah. So yeah. I don't think this is gonna end.
Blue Earth County Human Services Child Protection officials are now working with the family.
Human disservices.
Yeah, that's what they basically are. Fuck.
It's March. It's not supposed to be cold here. What the hell?
It's time to fucking stab people, I guess. I don't know.
It is March, and it is cold and rainy outside. Isn't that wonderful?
Yay. Well, we got that one article you wanted me to read on my own, or we could read on air if you want.
Which one is that?
The reflects on age and outgrowing.
Well, no, I wanted you to read it at first because I wanted you, but we can read it. We can save that for another show, maybe.
Okay, we'll save it for another show then.
Because you always got to save shit for another show. I know you want to read the one article that's really brainy, but we have to be in the right mood for that.
Yeah. I don't have enough drugs for you, though.
I don't have enough drugs. But yeah, I recommend reading that. I looked it up because I was looking up something called, I was looking up the term wiffle thrash, wiffle ball thrash, which is sort of kind of between thrash and groove metal. It's kind of toned down, slowed down, mid-tempo thrash that they played in like the late '80s, early '90s. That was kind of like Metallica's "Injustice for All" or some Testament or Sacred Reich. Um, some Ride the Lightning. Um, they call wiffle ball thrash. And I was looking at it and I clicked on it because it said outgrowing heavy metal, but it's not actually about the guy outgrowing heavy metal. It's about the opposite. But we'll say that for another episode.
Okay. So I got another one here.
All right.
How to be okay with having a communist friend.
I'm okay with having communist friends. I mean, I debate them. I'm okay with having Nazi friends.
Yay. Always good debate.
I debate. I'm okay with having any friends. Shit, I'm friends with you, and I disagree with everything you say, or a lot of things. Some things you say. Some things you say are less retarded, though.
Yay, I'm not as retarded as double cheeseburger.
No, but you do sometimes. Double cheeseburger? What?
Anyways, we as humans are social. We gravitate towards one another based on several factors. As we earn each other's trust and friendship, we must learn to deal with our differences. A most common difference that can feel personal is our political views. If you have a friend who supports communism, getting along with them might be difficult at times. But with respect for each other, you can be okay with your friend who is a communist.
This is, of course, suggesting that you yourself aren't a communist already.
I guess.
What website is this from?
It's from WikiHow.
Oh.
I found it. I thought it was entertaining. They put the token black guy in the picture. Agree to disagree. The best part of making friends is understanding each other. If your friend is a communist and you uphold a different ideology, you can still get along very well. Politics will be one area where you don't meet eye to eye. Understand that you don't have to agree with your friend in order to get along.
Yeah, we know, but I hate to use the words agree to disagree because that always means I don't want to talk about it. When someone says, we'll just agree to disagree, it means, well, I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to argue. Whereas I want to say, look, let's debate this. Or let's just talk about it as a friendly thing. Let's talk about our differences, but I don't have to get all riled up about anything. I mean, I could talk to you about why black metal is better than you think it is, and you can tell me I'm a moron.
During a monkey knife fight.
Monkey knife fight.
Show respect. If someone doesn't share the same beliefs as you do, they don't deserve to be criticized or scrutinized. Remove debate. That's what they're saying. Oh, God. Set aside their beliefs. What the hell happened here? Did I die?
No.
Okay, everything went weird. Set aside their beliefs and treat them based on the respect you feel they deserve. Friendships should be void of harsh treatment of each other.
No. Well, in some cases, yes, but in our case, our fiendship thrives on harsh treatment of each other because you're a
I
moron.
will shit on you like there is no tomorrow, and you will claim God has done it to you, even though you don't believe in one.
Because you're a moron who probably has bad taste in movies.
You do too.
I don't even like movies.
Good.
I mean, some of them, but
Nah,
mostly documentaries.
nah.
Although your Centralia one was awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's just watching the town that was. As everything went from bright and vibrant to four houses, pretty much.
And
And a lot of vacant lots because they started demolishing things. And you had like fucking duplexes that were ripped in half because one half was unoccupied, the other one stayed occupied.
I just love the fact that they won't move. Well, we're not gonna move. I love the story about the kid. They were just playing. All of a sudden, the floor opened up, and the kid's like, "Ah!"
Yeah. Ugh. Respect can focus on things such as hard work, treatment of others, their abilities, and characteristics.
I have no respect for you.
I mean, the whole thing is, the whole thing there says they don't deserve to be criticized or scrutinized. Well, they do. That's what debate is. You're criticizing and scrutinizing the belief.
Everyone deserves to be criticized and scrutinized.
You're not, and the whole thing with debate is you don't just sit there and say, well, you're dumb for thinking that. You bring up why it's stupid, and they bring up why you're stupid for thinking that. And that's how the whole thing goes. You have to bring up the points and shit. Uh, that was the one line there I didn't agree with at all. Fuck.
I don't agree with anything anyone ever said, ever, even the stuff I say.
Good. Focus on the better aspects in your friendship and find common ground. Arguing about communism is not going to create a strong bond.
Actually, it may.
God, I fucking argued with neo-Nazis, and that's what helped our bond fucking grow. Seriously. The fact they're like, oh, wow, he's listening to me and refuting my points as I make them. And then he comes back on the points he puts on pause and refutes them later, where I have to go back and do my research. And well, it fucking made us fucking click, man. Fuck you.
Rather than you just saying, you're wrong, get out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when will people understand that? Never.
People offer other interests aside from politics. At least that part's true. Figure out what drew you to that person in the first place, such as school, sports, or work. The best friendships are well-rounded.
Music for us. It was music.
Yeah.
It will always be music, too.
And we still threaten to stab each other every time we talk.
Well, you made me listen to KMFDM.
You made me listen to fucking shit that was completely, oh God. I don't even...
You don't even remember what you hate that I made you listen to, quote unquote.
Because I blocked it from my brain.
I try to play good shit, man.
At least you did that. I will say you put up effort with that.
I have guilty pleasures, but I don't play them because I know you won't like them. I try not to post shit that people aren't going to like, not to be accepted, but just, because
the only reason I played KMFDM was I didn't know you fucking hated them.
I don't hate them. They just didn't do anything for me. Lords of Acid I could stand. No, I know you didn't care for some of the brutal death I posted.
Okay.
But, I try to post
tolerable. Yeah.
I try to post stuff I know you like, or I think you'll think, not because I want to be accepted, but just because we're listening to something shared. So occasionally I'll go out on a limb and go,
I mean, if I
you
was
know,
out partying at your house, I'd expect to hear shit I don't fucking like every now and then.
sometimes I'll go on a limb and go, look, I don't know if you'll like this, but check this out.
Okay.
And if you don't like it, then I'll make fun of you.
Support your friend if other people pick on them.
But what if you find it a valid criticism?
I know. What the fuck? No one needs to be bullied for what they believe.
Yes, they do.
You need to be questioned at all times.
Everyone needs to be, if not bullied, at least challenged.
Challenged constantly so you're
Because,
forged in the fires of despair.
I mean, I knew women who claimed to be lesbians, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And my theory was a lot of them were just going through a phase, or at least just curious. And it turns out that a lot of them were. But because they weren't really into it, they were just like, "Oh yeah, we're together now," or something, And I would ask questions. They would call me a homophobe, and I'd just be like, "No, no, I'm just wondering if you're serious about this. If you're serious, that's fine." But they didn't seem that serious to me, and it turns out they weren't.
Oh, fuck. It's like the one chick I dated. Fucking shit. She was totally legit bi on the sexual front, but she could only have romantic relationships with guys. So,
My ex was the opposite. Bi, but only with girls. Like I was done one guy, and then that didn't work out. So
Yeah.
whatever.
If your friend receives harsh treatment from others who oppose communism, stand up for your friend. No.
I
Not
mean, it depends on what the argument is.
if they're fucking bringing pitchforks and shit, yeah, stick up for them. But like if they're just
But
saying to that communism won't work because utopia is a bullshit idea, that's something they need to take into consideration.
I mean, as much as I agree that yeah, okay, we could make changes. I'm not saying give up on everything, but I'm just saying be realistic and don't try to make any, just try to make the world better, but don't think you can change the world and make it completely perfect. Because if you think you can make the world completely perfect, you're part of the problem.
Exactly. Fire up the ovens. That will be the best thing for your friendship, and it will open the eyes of others. Open the eyes of others to what? Communism.
He defended a thing that I disagree with, that he disagrees with. Wow.
Ask your friend about his or her beliefs. Learning from one another is essential to any relationship, and friends should have a lot to offer. Inquire about your friend's communist beliefs. That kind of. But if you're inquiring about them and you disagree with them, you should debate them.
Well, I'm not even saying debate them, but I would like to know what type of communist you are. Are you a Marxist or are you a communist because you believe that, totalitarian governments are good because they torture people or what,
Yeah.
Are you a North Korea apologist? If you're a North Korea apologist, I'm not quite sure we can be friends. That's just a little too stupid for me. I might still debate you, but I'm not sure. Maybe.
Ask open-ended questions with what or how.
Have you ever been a communist? Yeah, I just fucking told you. Oh.
And let yourself refrain from any interruptions or judgment. Interruptions, fine. Judgment, you should.
No. Judgment, you can't. Okay, look, you can't judge until you've heard it all.
Yeah.
That's something that sometimes you sometimes stop in the middle of the thing. I'm like, no, no, no. I want to hear it. I want to hear it all. I can't judge by two sentences.
Uh-huh.
That's sometimes, and you know, whenever sometimes my parents will be watching something on TV and they'll be like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that," and I'm like, "I want to hear why you did it. I want to hear, you know, what happened, and you know, I'm much more slow to judge just because I want to get all the facts straight because you know nothing's worse than snap judgments because I've had them me all my life and look at me. I'm not retarded like they say I am.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger.
Learn about communism. Communism is a theory, and when you focus on the errors of those who falsely practiced that theory, I'm just remembering the fucking
Well,
communists.
technically it's true, but technically it's kind of impossible for anyone to truly practice that theory.
Yeah. I don't know. Becoming a society of things.
I mean, because you're never going to have a equal society because you know if you have a society where there's nobody who's power hungry, you'll have the one guy who's more power. You know, the one guy who's power hungry says, "Yes, come on, comrades, I will lead you in the equal revolution." Thus, you have you know Stalin and Pol Pot. You know, well, okay, well, we're not really power hungry, so we're just going to let him. You know,
Mhm.
that's how you get communist dictatorships.
You prevent yourself from learning. Try reading The Principles of Communism by Engels, The State Revolution by Lenin, or The Communist Manifesto by Engels and Marx.
Yes, yeah, I recommend at least brushing up on the theory before you actually talk to
Yeah.
somebody about it because then you look like less of an asshole.
And also, I fucking researched the fucking hell and back a lot of shit that they were preaching about the fucking Nazi bullshit. It gave me lots of good fodder for fucking debate, I'll tell you that. Because I could see all the fucking shit. And I'd have to dig back in my brain some now. But still.
You know what pisses me off?
Huh.
We've done 70 of these shows. Some of them are actually in quality, and they're all for free.
Yay.
We should be charging $10 a minute for this quality.
Ooh, yeah, a minute.
Not really, because fewer people would buy it than would listen to this. No one listens to it, so I have terrible ideas, people.
Also, be careful about the sources you seek. Propaganda and biased journalism.
Yes, Jim.
Yes, I know this. Oh, God. When I was writing that one paper, the only ounce of homework I did in high school, the piece of homework was about communist China, and I was supposed to write a non-biased paper, and everything fucking I found was nothing but bias filled, trying to find facts from fucking, oh God, that was a nightmare.
Yeah, but come on,
Because all the resources I had available, since I couldn't use the internet and shit,
Yep.
was just what was available at the fucking libraries, and all the libraries were stocked to the hilt with 1950s Cold War propaganda.
Yep. Yeah, but sometimes he's slipped up, or Scott's. Oh God, Scott's done that a lot with and I'm like, need another link, Scotty.
Yeah.
And he's like, why do you need another link? I'm like, because I don't trust the site. Because you're quoting from the New York Post.
Yeah, I usually, whenever I'm fucking called out, I usually try to provide another one if I can't find the original.
Daily Stormer.
Oh God.
I'm
At
never
least
gonna
they
write you
were
another
actually,
bad.
at least they were actually accurate in their thing. After I showed you 15 sites that also translated it. But,
Yeah, but I think I debunked that or at least if not debunked it, then explained it kind of accurately, isn't
No, I
okay.
didn't realize I was posting the Daily Stormer. Just
No,
copied
no,
and
no. I
pasted.
think I explained that. Okay, one guy says it, but that's not the prevailing, opinion or whatever. But I'm never gonna let you live that down because not even trying to insult you. I thought it was hilarious that. Oh look, Daily Stormer. Fuck, my friends subscribe to the Daily Stormer just to see what's going on in that circle.
Yay.
It's an interesting site. Scary.
Well, yeah, it usually is because, eugenics. But
Well, that and Stormfront has been responsible for something like 100 murders.
yeah.
Stormfront users have been responsible for something like 100 murders. That kind of scares me.
Separate communism from tyranny and dictatorships.
Well, yeah, you have to kind of separate the theory itself from its results.
A common
I
misconception.
mean, I'm not saying if you're talking about communist government, sure, but if you're talking about communism itself, just the theory, it's important to separate it from its results.
Yeah, but it always turns into government, which almost always. Actually, I haven't seen a case where it hasn't turned into fucking tyranny and dictatorships.
Russia in the last couple decades was okay.
But they are
But
not communist, technically.
no, I didn't say the last couple decades. I meant the last couple decades of the USSR.
Yeah. When they started to realize, hey, we gotta fucking do shit with the rest of the world.
When they started, yeah, and when they started to realize maybe killing off thousands of our population isn't a good idea.
Mm-hmm. A common misconception people hold about communism is what we've seen in the past. The past is a good model to figure out where things lead.
Just keep going. I want to hear what's.
Okay. Most countries have attempted to execute a communist economy, have resembled more of a dictatorship or tyranny. A real communist does not support dictatorship of rulers over the population.
That's true, but at the same time, no true Scotsman.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the problem with communism is you get people who aren't interested in power in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the one guy who is interested in power seizes power, and no one fights him because no one wants power anyway. So then you've got Joseph Stalin. I mean, Lenin said, "Hey, don't give Stalin power," but everyone was like, "Yeah, we don't want it. Here, Joe, you have it."
It's like, oh, goody, we're going to execute people now.
Goody, we're gonna orchestrate a mass, a orchestrated famine and kill off a couple 100,000 Ukrainians.
Yeah. In Marxist theory, all governments in human history have been a class dictatorship, meaning that the state is under the command of the interests of one social class. This is why communists refer to capitalism as a dictatorship of the capitalists, and refer to socialism as dictatorship of the proletariat.
Yeah, but communism is probably one of the most paranoid things I've ever read because everything's a class struggle and dictatorship, and
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
I mean,
Research.
I'm not a capitalist. I'm a social democrat. So, but according to some communists, I'm a capitalist shill. So, I mean, even communist countries had jobs and buying and selling shit.
Yeah.
So even communist countries realize that there needs to be a little bit of capitalism, even though I may not like per se pure capitalist countries. I have my own reasons, but I'm I'm not an anti I'm not an anti, all capitalism because that's just stupid.
Research the core beliefs of communism. Yes. Go online and read books about communism. Yes. You will not be sacrificing your own beliefs by educating yourself on the subject. Yes.
That's what I say about Nazis, but nobody listens to me.
Mm-hmm. You might be interested to see that communism can be made up of several differentiating political parties similar to what the United States has. Just kind of why we call the Democratic and Republican parties fucking the Communist Party of the U.S. sometimes when I was a kid.
No, I just call it the Republicrats.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that too.
Because they're about the fucking same. Well, not really the same, but the Democrats just make deals with the right and fucking pretend to feel guilty about it.
And then the right does the same damn shit. So.
No, at least the Republicans are honest about it. At least the Republicans are honest. Yeah, we're corrupt assholes. Where the Democrats pretend to feel guilty about corrupt assholes.
Well, they are them. Okay.
So, yeah, the Republicans are actually the more honest of the parties. I actually saw a funny. I'm not huge on Saturday Night Live because I find it tepid and boring. But I actually saw a kind of funny where they were making fun of Mitt Romney going to bat against Trump, and he was saying, Trump is racist and sexist, and he's open about it, and we don't like that. We want to imply it, which is what I've been saying. So, yeah, Saturday Night Live actually did something kind of clever.
Yay.
First time for everything.
I haven't done that shit in years.
No, but people like it. Personally, I find it kind of tepid and kind of middle of the road.
Also, communism shares a lot of views that are not necessarily political.
You'll find out.
Yeah, I know. Communism cares about the environment in a similar way the USA and other countries do.
The USA cares about the environment. Yeah, recycle your cans and listen to Al Gore. Whatever.
Trying to debunk a political theory by slandering the personal life of the person who supports it is called an ad hominem. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun. And by the way, people who wonder why I ask how old you are if you're asking these theories, or I ask if you're a libertarian or whatever, it's because a lot of communists, like, I remember I was talking to this guy who, I don't remember what he was saying, but I asked him if he was a libertarian. He's like, I don't see why that matters. I'm like, are you a libertarian? And he said, yes. And I said, how old are you? And he goes, why does it matter? And I said, how old are you? And he goes, I'm 17. I said, bingo, that explains everything. Because, I'm sorry, some of this, there's a reason there's things called stereotypes. It's because a stereotype has to be based on some sort of reality.
Yeah. Understand your own beliefs. If only more people performed introspection.
Oh, God. I wish I understood my own beliefs, because my own beliefs are, well, I understand them, and I'm the only one who does. Because they're actually very complex, especially when it comes to, like, religion and Satan and all those things. And I've tried to explain them to people, and people don't get it, so I just stopped. Hail Satan, by the way.
Yeah. In order to have a good discussion, you must be informed. Learn about your beliefs. A lot of times, our belief system can be influenced by our surroundings and become innate. However, the natural feeling towards a belief system does not always ensure that we will be improperly informed.
I want to know what my surroundings, my computer, and my diecast car collection. I mean, I came up with my belief system and honed it over the years when it came to politics and religion and things like that. I come up with my belief system and honed it over the years. Some things I've changed, some things I haven't. I'm definitely not what you call an anarchist anymore or a communist, but I'm still to the left, and I'm still what I am. And I still hate Christianity and all of those Abrahamic religions with a passion.
Yay. Should have just killed your son, Abraham. Anyway.
I did. I couldn't have had my. And I knocked up the girl, and then I kind of pushed her off a cliff.
Happens all the time.
She lived, though.
Moreover, politics is a huge subject that can change and present new information daily.
Yes, it can. That's why I don't always. That's why I never respond to those panics or whatever, because I'm just like, let's just see how this pans out.
Listen with interest and reply without sarcasm. How do you reply without sarcasm?
I don't fucking know. Wait, I just did.
A
But
discussion.
I like sarcasm.
A discussion can turn into an argument quickly. Good.
Yes, it can. But it could also degenerate into incoherent mumbling about the truth of life and the evolution of pigs' testicles.
Yeah, that happens. Usually after a few shots.
And 6 beers, and then a glass of tequila.
And the best way to avoid that is by listening like a good patient or student. Listening to someone does not mean you're submitting to their beliefs. I agree.
What's wrong with an argument?
I'm still waiting for that. Also, when you reply, speak kindly and intelligently. Well, at least speak.
No, I hate everything. Well, that's what Scott was talking about. That he doesn't like when we just say, "This sucks, kill death poser." But in my opinion, music does that to people. Because music is an emotional thing that more so than politics. So if you hear music that you hate, your emotions get the best of you, and all you want to say is, "This sucks, kill die poser."
God, I remember he was trying to say that he was talking to this one band, and this band might be like the future of what we need to like fucking get things home and all this shit. I'm like, dude, no, they're not. And you know what ended up happening? They weren't.
Oh, Border Wars or whatever?
I don't know. Probably.
That groove band?
Yeah, something like that.
Kind of sucked.
And like you could tell that they were just going for wetting the panties, which is what they were doing. They weren't like fucking into the.
Oh, Black Pussy or whatever it was?
No, not Black Pussy. That he never talked to them.
Yeah,
he just like following them.
The only band he interviewed was Border Wars, and they sounded pretty damn non-committal.
Yeah.
And they're from LA too. And they sounded like a Pantera clone to me.
Oh, I actually the one that told me that you should ask them. You sound a lot like Pantera. It's because I fucking heard that within the first. I tried to look for a track that didn't, and they all did. They all sound like Pantera.
They sound like a less metal Pantera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they weren't the worst thing I've ever heard, but I would have to listen to them again. I maybe I don't know. I'll listen to them one more time.
These people are going to carry the torch. No, they're not. They were just looking for publicity.
Yeah, which is a PTR will carry the torch, and he didn't even fucking care. So.
Yay.
Or Swine Brothers now, but yeah, this show I volunteered to fucking carry the torch, and he was like, So good job, moron.
We enjoy a lot of political analysts who use sharp and sarcastic delivery in both monologues and dialogues. However, all that is done for entertainment. Is it really?
No, it isn't. No, it's done to drive the point home. If you can't respond with sarcasm and humor, then, because I'll be honest, most political debates are pretty boring to me because a lot of it is, well, if you look at the economy of the last quarter, you'll find that the economy is the economy. I disagree because the economy. I disagree because you're throw some entertainment into it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the fucking patience to watch a fucking political debate.
In the real world, sarcasm is not received well and is taken offensively by a lot of people. Good, you need offended.
I know. That's why I use it. See, the thing you don't know, well, maybe you do, maybe I told you, I don't give a shit anymore, is I saw comedians like George Carlin, Doug Stanhope, and the like,
Mhm.
and I said, you know what? They're cool. I should be like that in real life. So that's why one time my mother, why are you always so mean? Well, comedians, well, they're just doing it on stage. I was like, yeah, see, I'm a comedian in real life. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Except for the thing is that I'm not saying it for shock value or for laughs. I'm actually just saying it because it's what I believe. Basically, imagine a misanthropic character in a comedy, in a comedy sketch come to life, and that's me.
Leave out harsh judgments. Why?
Because then people won't want to talk to you.
Good. Uh, your friend doesn't hold communist beliefs just to anger you.
Well, okay, wait. If he or she is my friend, then he or she responsible to sarcasm. It's kind of impossible to be um my friend and not respond well to sarcasm, as anyone who's ever talked to me has found out.
And honestly, you're not my friend if you're incapable of taking a harsh judgment whenever you hold an idea that's completely idiotic. My neo-Nazi friends found that out with a passion.
And you're not my friend because I can't fucking stand you.
Good. If you start feeling angry during a conversation with your friend, ask yourself where the anger is coming from.
It's coming from your voice. Your voice pisses me off.
Good.
It's just,
That's why I will continue. That's why I love reading these, because I know my voice pisses you off.
just every time I hear you, I just want to. I told you I had that vision once of just me strangling you for no reason.
Why does this black guy look like a meth dealer? Anyway.
I don't know. What?
They have a black guy drawn here that looks like a meth dealer. Like the other black guy looked normal, and they have this black guy underneath that looks like okay, he's just hugging someone. But this one here looks like a meth dealer. I don't know. It's completely out of place. Everything's like all like these pansified drawings that are like done for like grade school kind of shit.
He's hugging someone. He must be a rapist.
Maybe, I don't know. But everything looks fine with the black. The three pictures they got black guys in. All the other ones look fine, but this one they tried intentionally making look like a fucking meth dealer.
Nice. Meth dealers. I knew someone who's dealing in something like that. I don't fucking know. Unfortunately, I
Well,
get
it
a
could be any
haircut.
drug. I'm just saying, meth, because that's what we were talking about earlier.
I gotta get a fucking haircut tomorrow. I haven't gotten a haircut in fucking years. But if you like look at me, I look like a fucking, I don't know, long haired. I look like a fucking mess. Very scummy.
It may not actually be have its source in your friend's beliefs. Distinguishing your vulnerability beforehand can help you to avoid specific topics. No, you should engage these topics.
Yep. And
Just disengage the emotion.
people's voices piss me off a lot. I mean, I remember reading audiobooks and having to stop reading because I just couldn't understand. I just couldn't stand the people's inflections.
And I agree.
It was just the way they read it, and you hear this on voiceover sometimes, voice acting sometimes the way they, and he sat on the chair. I'm like, can you inflect properly? I always love the news bulletins and we've just got word that 25 people have been shot and are dead. In other news, you can win this dream vacation to Hawaii. Just pissing on their memories.
If you ever feel the discussion may have triggered you, good. Now be kind enough to change the subject.
No, embrace the
No.
trigger.
Fucking face yourself. Fucking shit, you pansies.
Well, I told this to someone, said, well, people don't like to feel miserable. People want to feel happy. I'm like, well, then don't talk. Don't have friends. You know what? You know how to feel happy? Go into your house, turn off the TV, hide under the covers for the rest of your life, only eating food. There.
Personally, happiness is a bullet in the head, but that's
Personally,
permanent happiness there.
personally, happiness means listening to death metal and black metal, but
Yes, putting bullets in people's heads is fun. So is playing with knives.
I
Realize
don't trust you around knives.
you cannot impose your own beliefs.
Yes, I can. Jim, believe whatever I believe. I don't even know what I believe, but believe it. Damn it.
Fuck you. Having a discussion with your friend is meant to open up friendship and share ideas. Good. If you enter into discussion with hopes of manipulating the conversation, influencing your friend's beliefs, then nothing will come out of it.
I enter into conversations trying to get people to do shit for me. Like, kill for me.
Yes, getting people to kill for me is fun.
No, me, bitch.
No, me.
Me.
That's it. The war has started. I will make people kill for me.
I will make people kill for me.
And that is how we start the war.
Yay. See, you heard it here first.
Ignore any thoughts of changing how your friend views the world.
Yes.
That was actually the fucking one thought that was the big spurner of all the fucking debates me and my fucking neo-Nazis had. It's like, dude, I want you to see how much bullshit this is.
See, I mean,
I didn't have hopes at all of fucking changing their opinions. I actually saw it as, wow, that's interesting. I wasn't the only force, mind you.
there's a difference between getting people to see the bullshit and changing their beliefs, because some people. Have you ever met the guy who he may be a Christian or he may be whatever, and somewhere inside he knows that he's quite possibly full of himself and full of shit, but he believes it anyway because he thinks it's the right thing. But deep down inside, he'll even maybe admit to you that he knows he could be possibly full of shit.
I usually just shit on people like that
He's an interesting character. Because somewhere he knows that he could be completely wrong, but he still believes it. So as long as he sees that, I don't enter into any conversation or any debate to try to change people's perception of anything. I do it to get them to kind of see it from different sides. But if they want to keep believing in neo-Nazism or communism or whatever, by all means.
I was fairly fine if they would have stayed that way. But, at the same time, I wanted them to see the bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I see the bullshit.
Yeah, I had a personal stake in it where I wanted them to change their ideas, but I didn't attack it like, you must believe. I was like, well, see how wrong this thing is,
I mean, I see the bullshit with some of the things on my side of the spectrum.
And someone was even showing him, hey, look, Hitler would have killed you.
Well, as Eric Keller once said, most of these neo-Nazis would be the first with bullets in their heads.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how it used to be for the winners and the ruling elite. Now it's for the fucking bully boys and the losers.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against them. although the ones who kick my ass I hate. But some of them make good music.
Yeah. Even if you are passionate about the subject, that doesn't give you the right to impose on your friend. Well, that's actually true.
Yeah, you couldn't even shit on that.
Yeah.
Aw, he's sad.
Listen to each other. A successful dialogue happens when individuals create new ideas together. The creation and problem solving can only happen with good listening. True.
What?
Yeah, it's
What's
actually
that?
making sense for a bit.
What's that? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
I know I do that a lot anyway.
No, I was listening. I was just giving you a hard time.
And yeah, and I was just saying, yeah, I know I do that a lot.
Fuck you. No, you know what? Never mind. I don't really want to.
That's good because I don't want you to. And that would be
Good. Moving on swiftly.
when your friend is discussing a point, don't interrupt. Give the person time and don't argue by repeatedly stating, but. How many times have I fucking sat here and been silent whenever we had other people on just because I wanted to fuck? Well, you don't know.
Well, okay, sorry. There's a little bit of a delay there, but see what I mean, people? Don't interrupt.
Yeah.
Mason, Anarcha.
Fucking shit. You realize how often I've stayed silent just to hear other people fucking take on things? Like, there was at one point where I was fucking silent for a good hour straight just because I was listening.
I wish I could have done that because that was a waste of time. But that's the problem with Mason and Anarcha, and they interrupt a lot.
Yeah. And they want to dominate everything and not fucking let anyone have a word in edgewise, because if they railroad the conversation, then their point is the only one that is heard.
Yes. That's why a good debater is someone who's able to listen. That's the one thing I like about Ian is at least he listened.
Yeah.
Although he was fucking whack job.
Using that word immediately negates what was just said. Like it didn't even matter. Well, most things don't matter.
Yes, most things do not matter. Like this show.
If you wish to get along, you should learn to treat each other's ideas as though they do matter. No, they don't.
Your ideas don't matter, Jim.
Neither do yours.
My ideas matter. Because I say them.
We're all going to die one day and leave our work to others who will not care to take them out in the way we had foreseen to take them.
I hope I am remembered as one of the world's greatest thinkers by one person. I hope there's one fucking person who thinks, here lies Elliot Lindemood, one of the world's greatest thinkers. God damn.
Admit when you're wrong.
No.
I still remember that one fucking time where, like, you said something. I forget what the fuck it was. And I was like, wait a minute, I want to. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that does make sense. Never mind.
I don't remember which one it was. I remember, but there was one where you were talking about genocide, and I cleared that up for you.
Yeah, there was that one, but that was,
I don't remember which. I remember the instant you were like, "Oh, I was about to shit on that," but
yeah,
I laughed very hard that day.
If discussions lead to arguments all the time, then something must be changed. No, that I will shit on.
Well, that's the good thing about us is at least we don't. We actually kind of get along.
Even though we argue about so much shit.
Yeah, but it's friendly argument. It's not, I don't have any
friendly argument where we threaten each other with chainsaws. Chainsaw enema time.
That's not friendly.
I think it is, but
What planet is this on that's not friendly?
I do not comprehend.
Yeah.
Discussion.
That's the epitome of friendly.
Someone must be wrong. If the discussions lead to an argument that you keep bringing up over and over again, chances are you can be wrong for trying to manipulate the discussion. But
Baby
what
metal.
if I'll kill you in your sleep?
That does not bode well for me.
Also,
I
what
sleep
happens
a
if
lot.
they're the ones trying to manipulate the conversation like we've bumped into countless times?
Because I sleep a lot, so
Yeah.
yeah. I know those people. People who you're talking about something and they mention something that you said, like last time you saw them 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I like bringing up baby metal just because it pisses you off.
Yeah, I know. Try
Good.
to refrain from confusing facts for opinions. That's good. You
But
should not do that.
my opinion is fact. I mean, that's the thing though. See, some bands objectively suck.
Yes.
Some
I will
bands
agree with that statement.
that's your opinion. No, some bands objectively suck, and the people who like them are objectively mainstream nobos.
Hmm.
If you think that's an opinion, or in my opinion, you're wrong.
This is my most unpopular opinion, and that is all.
Yeah, I left all unpopular opinion groups because I just
Everyone's trying to be fucking edgy. That's all it is. It's like, and I don't like this. Well, good, you don't like that. It's not
finally I posted if you're cyberbullied, go kill yourself. And that was a very unpopular opinion. They didn't like that at all.
Mhm.
Which I thought that was the point of the group, but apparently not.
Yay. It's only unpopular if we agree it's unpopular by whatever fucking, I don't give a shit. Stab yourselves. Anyway, facts should speak for themselves, whether you like believing them or not.
Yes, like Limp Bizkit sucks. That's a fact that speaks for itself.
That should be. Oh, sing it from the choir.
Whereas some albums are like Master of Puppets is more of an opinion thing.
Mhm.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it as much as I used to.
Opinions are arguable, so when you feel the discussion is getting very opinion heavy, refrain from being stubborn on a certain point. Why?
Well, they are arguable, but they're not. I mean, let's take music for example. You hear shit in music that I don't hear, like your Covenant thing. I mean, yeah, I hear it, but not as much as you do. And I have a weird connection with Abominations that you don't have.
Yeah.
And Morbid Visions for me is basically the most spiritual experience I could ever have. That and Pleasure to Kill. Whereas Master Puppets for me is just a good album.
Yeah, it's a good album. It used to be my favorite. That changed.
And Kill 'Em All for me is my favorite Metallica album for years. So some our opinions aren't really arguable because some of it's unexplained. Like I can't explain how I feel when I put on Morbid Visions. It just feels so right for me. Or I can't really explain
You know,
why.
it's funny. I sit there and I watch the Beavis and Butt episode where they're making fun of this little skit they did for the videos where they were making fun of God of Emptiness, and that's like just one of the most spiritual songs on the album, I thought. But they're making fun of it. I'm like, that's actually a cool joke. I still see it as like this whole entire thing where like you were submitting yourself. You're chanting, you're submitting yourself, letting the powers take over. Then there's a release whenever you realize the powers are nothing. And you become one with the forces of entropy.
Yeah.
Casting your soul to the four winds.
It's more nepenthe than entropy. Just saying.
Okay.
Don't need to go. Well, because entropy is, the breaking down of things. At least that's what I understand it. No, but no, I understand. I listened to that song yesterday, and I kind of got the same feeling. But there are experiences that I can't fully explain, like why is pleasure to kill such a spiritual experience? Just listen to it.
Yeah.
Just listen to fuck, you know. And black metal. No, black metal is something I can't explain. I've tried explaining it to you, and I can't really explain the appeal for me. It just is.
It's like I like some of the shit, but I'm just not like into it.
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while to be into it. Let's put it that way. But I'm definitely a black metal fan now. But it took me a while, and like I said, I can't fully explain it. You just need to kind of be in the right mood. But some opinions aren't really arguable because, like I said, if I could find words to explain it.
If you feel admitting you are wrong is some kind of defeat or concession to your friend's beliefs, then reevaluate why you have discussions with your friend.
Well, I'm never wrong, so
Actually, there have been cases where the busted clock was right.
I'm never ever wrong. I mean, I'm perfect in every way, shape, or form, except maybe physically. Physically, my shape isn't perfect. Well, some
I
women
am
like that.
I am 100% perfect in the entire mental emotional front. That is why I am the only sane person in the universe. Now,
Emotional, no. Okay, maybe you are now. That laugh convinced me.
yeah, there we go. Anyways, I think that's it for this shindig.
That's it for the shindig shit. The shit shindig.
Mm-hmm.
Let me drink some Monster. Let me put the can down. Let me check time.
Mm.
Okay. Yep. I think it's it. It's been about a couple hours.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it, boys and girls, ladies and gerbil men,
And sodomized goat monkeys.
and sodomized goat monkeys. This has been the Swine Brothers Show, episode 70 for whatever the hell it was of March 2024, 86, 5, 4. You can email the show at ellinthemood@gmail.com. Twitter and Facebook will be changed, so don't bother with those for a while. I'll change them whenever I become unlazy. It may take a while. We may be back Friday or may not be, but if not, we'll be back Monday. We don't know. Depends on how I feel Friday, i.e., how tired I am, because I'm going to a funeral Thursday and driving back Friday. So whatever happens, something will be on Friday, either FAQ or a new show. For Jim, our responsible person, which scares me that he's the responsible one, our chief reader, and our person, I am the producer of the show and host. I have been Ellie Lindemood, or the Pig. So long, and we'll see you later.